patriotic song before America the Beautiful and before My Country 'Tis of Thee. And it was called Columbia, the Gem of the Ocean. Now, what's Columbia got to do with the United States? Many people don't know. Where's the capital of the United States at? District of Columbia. Columbia was the name for the 13 colonies before they were states. They were just called Columbia. So, the first verse, and you'll see what I'm going to do. Oh, Columbia, the gem of the ocean, the home of the brave and the free, the shrine of each patriot's devotion. The world offers homage to thee. Thy mandates make heroes assemble. When liberty's storm stands in view, thy banners make tyranny tremble. When born by the red, white, and blue. When born by the red, white, and blue. When born by the red, white, and blue. Thy banners make tyranny tremble. When born by the red, white, and blue. The Star-Spangled Banner bring hither o'er Columbia's true sons. Let it wave. May the wreaths they have won never wither, nor its stars cease to shine on the brave. May thy service united never sever, but hold to their colors so true. The Army and Navy forever. 3 cheers for the red, white, and blue. 3 cheers for the red, white, and blue. 3 cheers for the red, white, and blue. The Army and Navy forever. 3 cheers for the red, white, and blue. Now, you're probably wondering, how does this go?
How does this go?
This is a penny whistle. And I'll play it one time through, and then I'll play it with harmony to myself. Now, 2 notes at the same time, simultaneously, at once. This isn't easy. Let's give the red, white, and blue 3 cheers for the red, white, and blue. Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Now we're coming to the most important part of the evening, which is why we're here, is to honor 7 more great heroes from our country. I think we just passed 31 events, somewhere around 500 people we've honored in the last couple years. And every time I do it, I keep meeting more amazing people. And being from Denver, it always amazes me how much more participation we get out here in La Junta or Haxton or Montrose or Delta. I'm not saying Denver doesn't participate being a Denver White and all that, but I do appreciate you people. I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate your heroes. And so, without further ado, we're going to start honoring them. And what we do is we'll call it one person at a time. And actually, Leon, you can come back up because I want you to call them up. Sorry, I made you walk all the way back there. Leon will call them up, and then we like to let the people speak. And then if somebody wants to come up and also speak in their behalf, that's more than okay. And then afterwards, we'll have a band and some fun. But again, this is the most important part of the night, is honoring these people that are on both sides of me here. And you see these little trees here, we'll be auctioning these kind of like representations of trees that are planted in their honor. We're also, I think, the ones that you heard earlier, we're also going to be planting trees very near here in Rocky Ford with our new partner Gabe, who Billy in the back, Billy Hallman, ALR president down here in District 1. He got me set up with, we're going to plant 40 acres of our first 1,400 Warrior 100. And the Warrior 100 is explained in the back. It's very basic. Together Celebration of Heroes honors the living, and Warrior 100 honors the deceased. Our goal is to honor every honorably discharged veteran in the United States. It's a lot of people, starting with George White. That's a lot of people. I probably won't be here. Some of you might be here, some of the younger folks. So we've got two different programs we're working on this year, Plains to Peaks. Again, if you have time, go back and look at the Plains to Peaks. You can go to trillion.org. We've got another event, Cortez, and then we're going to really concentrate on our new garden program this week and next week in the Valley here with our new wonderful partner, Sergeant Fox, and Brad's going to speak about that right after we honor the people. But now let's go ahead and get going with the honor celebration. You back up. I'm going to hand this back over to him, and then I'll grab the certificate, and then we'll call him up.
Okay, James Robinson from the Army.
James, you want to give us your military history real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm a Rocky Ford high school graduate. I went and did basic training before my senior year of high school. Came back. I was in the National Guard here at Lahana back when we had the armory during my senior year. At that time, I decided that I wanted to do more for my country, so I went ahead and went active. My first tour, 15 days after I graduated high school, was in Korea. So I spent a year over in Korea. Coming back stateside, they said, hey, you can have your own choice of duty station. So my brilliance at 18 years old said, hey, send me to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Became air assault qualified. A week later, I was standing in the sandbox over in Kuwait. Was there for 6 months, came back for 6 months, went back to Iraq for 6 months, came back for 6 months, went back to Kuwait for 6 months. Finally, I said, you know, the recruiter was right. I do get to see a lot of the world. I'm done with it. I'm over it. I'm out. I'm done. Wouldn't change a thing about it. Would go back in a heartbeat if my body would allow me. But of course, being airborne and air assault qualified, the old knees won't pass the physical. So I want to thank Steele and everybody, and Angie, Billy, for putting this on. It's a great event. Hopefully, I can help out in any way I can.
Excellent. Here. Oh. Gotcha. Get a picture. Ma'am, one on each side.
No, come on.
Come on. You guys want to remember this?
Run, Noah, run!
Run, Noah.
We ain't got time with you.
Run for the door.
Too old.
Not chased. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
John Honaker, front and center.
Probably, yeah, when you show over here. I want to thank everybody for coming here today. It means a lot to us veterans. I'll say it again that I was in from 1990, or from 1980 to 1995. I did have a break in service, so I've been a E2, E3, E4, and E5 twice, and been a corporal once. So, and that was in all of my 15 years. I was able to get it all back, but I wanted to get my E6 and I got put out on the medical. But I had some real fun. I joined right after high school, went to Germany. I was in it we guarded missiles as an MP. And then went to Fort Carson after that, and then got out for a little bit and joined back up. And that time I went to Korea. Then I came back and I went to DC, worked there. Let's see, then I went to Germany and went to Desert Storm, came back, and then I went to Fort Devens, Massachusetts. And that was the most beautiful post I've ever been on. But they discontinued the military there. But it was absolutely gorgeous, and we would go out and play golf with. At night we played midnight golf, and we'd put the glow in the dark balls up underneath the light and go out and play. And then when it snowed, we'd go out and play miserable golf. That was really hard. But I tell you, I got a lot of stories that I could tell you all, and I did some rotten stuff as an MP. So any of you that are police, don't show up when you want to talk to me. Thank you all very much, everybody that put this on. Thank you. That was my psychiatrist.
You might have answered that.
Later.
Sir.
No. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Angie, everybody.
We
that
appreciate
put
you,
this
and
on.
we appreciate your family, and we appreciate your service.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And.
Now that we've been through that.
As he goes that way, you come this way. Ron. Ron.
Come on down. Price is right.
Ron's my new alcohol counselor. It's something. It's only beer. Ron, why don't you take this over?
Like everybody said, I appreciate doing this. I don't really feel like a hero, but I didn't do anything to deserve a lot of this, but I appreciate it. I want to tell you a short story. I was in Vietnam and I came back in 1970. We landed in San Bernardino. They took us in the back room of the airport and made us change clothes and get into civvies because we could not go outside in our uniform. There was throwing rotten eggs and lettuce and everything else at us, and that was a very rude welcome home. Nowadays, it's a whole lot better. They appreciate the military more, but back then it was not pleasant to come home to.
Family come up?
Come on, Lily.
I made him a promise earlier tonight after I spilled my beer all over the floor. He said he liked my tie, so there you go.
Up in there, Steele.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Got it.
You got it?
Welcome home, Ron.
Welcome home.
David Archer.
Look better now, Steele.
Do I look better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more
it's-
relaxed.
Anything's an improvement.
Hey, we didn't say it, you did.
It's not pretty. Okay. Take over. I was talking about my ugliness, but go ahead.
Well, name's David Archer, you got that. I'm a United States Marine. Any of the Marines in the room at all? Hoorah! All right. Two of us, we can take them all, right?
My son's a Marine.
You know, we
I
have
take credit for this.
our sheriff and his family's here today, Otero County Sheriff. We used to have a saying, I'm a deputy sheriff, I'm a retired deputy sheriff out of Southern California, so we're a transplant. But I'm sure they have the same saying here that one deputy, one riot. Is that not right, Chandra? That's it. There you go. Same with the Marine Corps. I really appreciate all you Army guys because it gave me a lot of opportunity when I was overseas in Vietnam to pull you guys out of a bad position all the time. But we did appreciate those Army pilots driving those slicks in and also pulled us out. So thank you everybody for this. Like Ron said, I'm no hero. Went over there, did my duty, and came home. That was the most important thing. We did come home. So all you guys that was overseas, welcome home. Welcome home.
Get in there, Steele. Oh, okay. I was gonna get one in the future.
She's kind of short and I'm kind of tall, so good luck with that.
I got good angles on the camera.
There you go.
Can you make me thin and young?
I can. There's only so much we can do with Photoshop, but I'm sure we can get on that.
Good.
Rick Ward.
Woo! Rick. I want to say something about this gentleman before he gets the camera or gets the microphone.
Rick is probably one of the best VSOs that I know, and I've been only in this job for about 2 years. I have looked up to him since the very first day I took my position, and I try to establish the same type of relationship he has in his counties where I live, because this is the example of how to serve our veterans. So thank you so much for all you do, brother.
Well, thank you for this. My history, well, I retired from the Coast Guard after 22 years. 22 years, 11 different duty stations. So 6 different Coast Guard cutters, 1 motor lifeboat station off the Oregon coast, and 2 search and rescue stations, 1 down in the Gulf of Mexico and the other one in Central California. So, you know, most of the Coast Guard cutters I was on are, they're all decommissioned now, all but 2. And one of those, I understand, just made its last patrol. It's getting ready to be decommissioned. The other one is probably not far behind. They were both built with a 15-year lifespan, and that was 30 years ago. So that's what the Coast Guard does. We take things and we patch it and stretch it and make it last a lot longer than it should. But I don't have to ask if there's another Coast Guardsman in the room because he's sitting right here. All 2 of us at Mohana. Yeah, all 2. And I think there's 2 in the valley. So, yeah, I look around the room and I see a lot of you that's as Jeremy said, I've been a veteran service officer. I started off in Bend County in 2019, and last year I took over Otero County along with Bend County. So I tell people I took 2 full-time jobs and made them 1 fuller-time job. And I see a lot of you come through my office and, you know, coming in for help, and I hope I'm helping all of you. It's been my honor to continue to serve veterans, and just, you know, continue to help you guys, men and women both. So it's been a great honor. It's been a privilege, and I'd like to thank each of you for being here today to support us, and Steele for doing what you do. And it's a worthwhile project. So thank you all. And Jeremy.
Good for Corona, everybody.
Take your time.
Don't tell her that. She will.
Got it. Adorable.
No, thank you, Rick. I've been called a lot of things, but that's the first time I think
I like to be your first, Rick.
Jackie Davidson.
Well, before I get started, I want Angie up here. Angie.
Hey.
You can't be hiding in the kitchen, so come on up here.
America.
Let me say something before I get started. If it wasn't for Angie being my right hand, I wouldn't be here. I would have been probably someplace else. And for all of you who think that you know where that other place would have been, you don't have no idea. And Angie is my BFFE. And if you don't know what BFFE is, it stands for Best Friends for Eternity. Not forever, eternity. And Autumn is another one. So anyway, here I go. I joined the military, and go ahead. Go ahead. You got a job to do in the kitchen. Okay, I joined the military for one reason. My dad served on the Arizona the day it got bombed. And he got blown off the quarterdeck. I didn't have no idea what a quarterdeck was. But, you know, he survived. And he's the big influence why I joined the Army in 1967. And I took my basic at Fort Ord, California. I've done a lot of stupid things when I was in basic. Most of you probably have. I had to guard a golf course there on, you know, Interstate 405. If you know where 405 is, I found some golf balls. So I used my rifle to try to knock the golf balls across the freeway. Well, I got in trouble, you know, and the MPs got me, and you know, and I didn't get put in, I got put in guard, KP for 3 weeks. Best 3 weeks of my life. I got to eat anytime I want. So, After basic, I went into AIT, and most of us had our MOS. Mine was a truck driver. I took truck driving school. And then I went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And then from Fort Bragg, I went straight to Vietnam. I drove a truck in Vietnam. My second day there, I drove, let me see, 350,000 rounds of ammo up Highway 1. Now, coming back, I got shot in the head, and I was in a coma for 10 days. And when I came out of the coma, laying on my breast was a Purple Heart. I didn't deserve it. What did I do? I didn't do anything, just drove a truck. But they said I was a hero. So what I did is I told them I didn't want it. I didn't want that Purple Heart. So take it away. But they wouldn't take it away. So to this day, I have that Purple Heart. But what I did is, when my dad died, I pinned that Purple Heart on his chest when he was being buried. So right now, that Purple Heart is with him in the grave. And that was the best part of my respect for the military people and for all of you. I respect you all. You are part of my family, because we're all comrades in arms. No matter what you've been in, the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, the Coast Guard, you are comrades to me. So I want to thank Billy and Angie and anybody else who has put this on. Thank you very much. I respect you all. Thank you, and you know what? God bless each and every one of you.
Hoo-yah!
Angie, get up here. She wants you in your picture. In her picture.
Yeah.
All right.
Trying to get away from the front.
Yeah,
Well, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna-
Perfect.
I was like, who am I looking at? Which camera?
He's recording, I'm taking photos.
Okay, I'm out of here.
Let's give her a big hand again. We try to honor one person from each branch of the service, obviously, and every community might not have Space Force or Coast Guard. We've done Merchant Marine. What we do is we allow the community to pick who they're going to honor. We've got two new things that happened this year. One, and again, because Billy in the back, Billy Hallman there, straight back to me. He gave me the idea of, you really need to be honoring people who are deceased as well as people who are alive. And so I think I said it before, we split it into Warrior 100 for the deceased and Together Celebration Heroes for the living. And I always say together because anybody who lives in America right now knows things are not together, and we got to stop that. And I have my own political viewpoint, I'm sure you all do, but we don't need that right now. We need to be together. We need to celebrate these kind of people, these heroes, these people that have held our community together, holding us together, and they're really good examples of where America needs to go back, people. So we just also planted 21 trees in the La Junta Cemetery, and Leon gave me the idea when he showed me the book of past people from this valley, and we are taking 21 names from that book of the first 21, or actually it's the second, because Bill and I have done some before. Second, 22, I'm sorry, 22. I always say 21, it was actually 22. So the first 22 out of the cemetery, Leon gave me a wonderful idea. And then the first 100 from this district, we've also chosen, along with 1,300 from the other 13 districts in Colorado. And we're planting all those trees in this valley, right by Rocky Ford, until they mature, and then we're gonna move them out to the different districts, sorry. And I've never picked any honorees, but I'm picking one tonight. I don't normally do it, but I care enough about this community and I want to show that I care. My father died a few years back, and I decided maybe I need to honor somebody. My dad was in Korea. He was a great father, served honorably there, and died a few years back, and I just decided maybe I should honor somebody. So, I hope you don't mind if I took one on my own, Donald Frank Smith, and it makes me feel good. So, anyways, I think we've got everybody honored for tonight. We've got a 50-50 raffle, obviously a band in a little while, an auction, but I want to call up somebody, Brad.
Before you do that, speak to your father. What branch?
He was in the Navy. He was in the U.S. Navy.
My favorite.
My brother, who also died in the service, he was also in the Navy. And my other brother was in the Navy, and I was the runt. I was in the Army. But and I made it all of a year and a half and fell off a tower. And anybody who knows me knows I could barely walk. But certainly my service, while it was okay, it wasn't anything like my dad was in from 53 to 55. Honorable service. I didn't know a lot about it, but he didn't really want to talk about it that much. But I know he was in the Navy, and I know he was in Korea. And I've seen a lot of pictures with those white hats and those funky outfits they wore.
You look good, don't you?
And he was saying one day they were, I do know one story. One day they were on the deck and some horrible accident happened, and he looked over and a shell went right through somebody. And literally just, you can imagine, I mean, that was it for him. And he said that changed his whole life. And that wasn't even in the actual combat. But when you see something like that, like literally a shell, like the big kind of shells, literally go through one of your buddies. People, there's a reason why I did a tour 4 years ago before I was doing trees. It was called Reach to 22. And it's about honor. I still own the website, reachto22.com. And it's trying to get people, veterans, coming back from service. 22 of them 4 years ago. I think it was 22 a day. Jeremy could probably speak to it. It's probably 25 a day or something. I don't know what the number
It's
is.
actually going down, but I'll talk
Oh, well,
about
good.
that when I
It's
come up there.
good. It's a lot.
You can talk about it too.
And you can speak to it here in a minute, because I know that's what you're involved with, what Brad's involved with. And Sergeant Fox, and we're teaming up with them on these gardens we're going to be putting all across the valley that I talked about. We're not just coming and going and planting a few trees and hoping they survive. We're staying. We're putting in gardens so they can work and eat if they want the food from them. Got that idea from Jeremy. And then Billy went out and bought all this equipment for gardening, excuse me. So we do trees, obviously, and we try to get jobs in what I call the Warrior Corps, placing people in much bigger companies with much more trees to plant. And then our own little ranger projects that I'm going to try to put in every district. So get some more people to join the Legion, the VFW. Everybody in the room knows we need to do that. And one of the ways is you get some of these younger folks to come in and see, hey, we got some other things going on. Forestry, gardening, even bonsai programs. So, no further ado, I think I'll call Brad up and he can speak to what Sergeant Fox is doing in the Valley and what he's involved with and the people at his table are involved with.
Thank you. All right, this can be very short and sweet because this is not my forte. I do not speak in front of large groups of people. This was not my job, JC. So my name is Brad Rowe. I'm a veteran outreach coordinator working under the Staff Sergeant Fox Suicide Prevention Program. suicide prevention, especially for veterans, it's a huge problem. We go and we see things, even if we don't fight overseas, we see things that affect us. We see our friends die. We see our friends go through emotional things that we're not built to deal with because we're young men. So my job is to reach the veterans out there that aren't attached to anybody. The guys that have just disassociated themselves from anything the military has anything to do with. The guys that are living on a farm, have forgotten about the Army or the Navy or the Marines or the Coast Guard because they've seen something that they don't want to think about anymore. Those are the guys I'm trying to reach. So if you know somebody like that, get them in touch with me. I got cards on my table. I got programs on my table that explain my program a little bit. It's got my phone number on. My phone is always on. You can reach me 24/7, and I will do whatever I can to help any veteran out there. And it doesn't have anything, suicide prevention is the ultimate goal of my program. It's the grant that I work under, but I will help a vet do whatever he needs to do to help whatever he needs help with. So reach out to me and just find me, and I will put him in touch with whoever he needs to help him deal with whatever problem he is dealing with. So, thank you very much. Thank the veterans. These guys are heroes in my heart. Fantastic bunch of group of individuals. Absolutely. Thank you for everybody who put this on. Steele, thank you. Billy, Billy's gone now. Angie, thank you.
Called on him too many times.
Let's just, now it's time to turn the band on. Let's have fun, huh?
Oh, not quite yet, not quite yet.
No,
I get
not
to do
quite
the
yet.
fun part on the auction
All
first.
right. Well, I'm done.
Great job. Let's give him a big round of applause.